Last night I had a dream of an unknown wizard, quite strange. He spoke in a language I'd never heard before, a single word that changed. He said that I had been chosen, and in the same breath cursed. He said, "Lula, you must retrieve the genie of your people. That is your task first." Because of my resilience and sight, I'd been blessed. The wizard said, "Go now, you must pass the test." A wizard who wants the genie for own is making his way up the mountain alone, for if he obtains it, our fate is sealed. We'll never again choose our own path to yield. So we must beat him and learn the genie's use, lest we be further cursed and no longer choose. I felt a call to go. I had to answer it. So I set off. I could not linger a bit. Though the path may be long and the journey hard, I had no fear, for I knew I'd go far. Though I may walk alone, I knew I was not, for my guide unseen was never forgot. I knew I had a mission, a task I must do, and I knew it was my own, only I could pull through. The sun rose slowly, and the sky did light. I had to embark on a journey of might. To the mountain of fire I had to go, to complete this task that only so. The genie once gave us choice and free will, but now no path is ours to fill. The shamans say that I'm a weaver and a walker, only I have that right to squawk her. We have hunters and fishers, collectors and keepers. In this village we are all equal seekers, but I have been blessed with a special fate. The shamans have granted me a different path to take. Weavers of words, of stories untold, the keepers of tales that must be retold. Poets and singers, their songs will resound, the warp and woof of our history found. Walkers of paths, the wanderers and dreamers, asking of questions, no fear of the unknown, searching for answers and seeking the light to brighten the corners of our minds so bright. No one has ever come back to the village. No one has ever looked back again. The weavers and walkers have gone far away. The stories and answers they'll never betray. I remember my mother. I recall her sweet face, though she had to leave me without even a trace. She was determined to find a way to break the spell. The genie's return was the only thing that could help. She was certain she was a weaver, not a walker that day, but the shamans had spoken and she had no say. So she left me in sorrow, her dreams unfulfilled. And I have dreamt of her ever since, and the village she left still. The day she left was cold and wet. The tall grasses had not been met. In a black dress and hair of night, she waded out into the light. She gazed above into the sky. The wind made her look like a patch of summer high. Her arms were clutched to her chest. I felt her sorrow and ran with zest. As I watched her go, I thought of tears and the words that we would never share, of a life that could have been, but was never meant to be there. The rain kept falling all around, but I was standing still in time, for I knew in my heart the longest goodbye was mine. I close my eyes and see a sorrowful sight, her shattered soul in the candlelight. My father's heart deeply wounded and sore, his daughter's tears he can't ignore. I feel the urge to capture this scene through a painting of colour and sheen, but all I can do is run in the rain, feeling the drops like glass on my skin. I run to the shoreline and find my reprieve, where the sand, water and sky all weave a tapestry of solace and peace, where I can finally find my release. For 10 long winters I've delved in my mind. Is life just a long goodbye? a bright spark of imperfection in a sea of nothing sublime. For this reason the shamans called her a walker, not a weaver of fate, for she had no answers, only questions, a journey of faith to take. A journey to find the genie, to fill her heart's cracked vessel, a path of mystery and wonder, an answer she must unravel. The genie I'm seeking seems so far away, a secret so deep I might never find the way. What power could it hold? What difference could it make? Could it harbour the freedom it seems I must take? I worry I'm wrong, I worry I'm lost, but I'll keep on searching no matter the cost. The answer's so close yet so far away, I'm searching for the genie. Here I will stay. Rafiso and I were two of a kind. Our friendship was strong and our blissful love blind. We'd meet in the fields where the sky was so blue and run until dusk with no shoes on view. We'd return home for supper with feet quite a mess, and we knew that our friendship would stand the test. As we grew, our affections grew ever more strong. Our love for each other would last oh so long. We'd found our true halves, our one and only soul. the kind of love that would never grow old. As I sat there with Rafiso by my side, the sun slowly set and the summertime tide, I felt a sadness and a longing in his eyes that made my heart ache and my spirit cry. He held my hand and we watched the light. His face was solemn, his words so slight. He looked at me and kissed me on my head and said, "I have to go." My heart was overwhelmed with sorrow. As he said goodbye and made his way, I asked if he knew he'd be alone tomorrow. He said it was the only life he could not delay. Our friendship has meant so much to me, but he knew he must go and make his own way. The fear of emptiness was greater than his fear of being alone, so he said goodbye, and I had nothing more to say. The soft caress of your words and deeds, naught can compare to your silence and lack of being. The jovial tones that filled the air as we lay upon the mossy ground, a flower placed in my hair. You admired your handiwork so fair, your platitudes so sweet, yet knowing that my love you'd never meet. Forever, you said, your breath upon my cheek, lying there in a bed of blooms so meek. "'Twas a time of ancient lore, when we huddled by the fire, in animal skins like one great choir, of a millennial conversation to each a true desire. We sipped leaf wine and made a light, till fire opals gave us sight, salamanders writhing in the blaze. As fire snakes lazy ribbons gaze, a dream within a dream, a sight so grand, more beautiful than death or night's own command. "'Twas something in our past so deep, though knowledge we had tried to keep, the secrets etched on ancient walls, spoken down the ages' halls. We'd grown complacent, blind and numb, the truth obscured, no longer to come. Or maybe nothing, just a dream of minds that thought they were supreme. The drawings on the cave walls were no more than a child's doodles, nothing to explore. I dreamed I was entombed, and Mother said with a sigh, "The vultures can't pick you, my sweetest of pies. My love for you is so deep, I won't leave you in this heap. I'm here to clean the spaces of gold rings and bare knuckles. Fear not the worms, for in death we remain vermivorous. Fear not your languid spine, I'm here to make us both entwine. We'll be scarabs entwined in this tomb, side by side, till the end of time." The fisher lives a quiet life, away from village strife. On the shore of the sea he does dwell, in a simple hut he built himself. His skin is brown from the sun, his clothes are nearly done. His hair and beard are long and unkempt, as if never cut or combed once in his life. He spends his days fishing away, casting his line in the bay. He's a man of solitude and peace, living in nature's embrace. The fisher never took a wife and had no kids. No one knew from whence he'd come. The villagers thought him quite eccentric, for he'd never eat the fish he'd caught, but trade them for the simple goods of life, no matter the weather, day or night. I once saw him pick a grasshopper from a reed. He held it gently in his hand like a precious seed, dabbed it with a bit of honey wild he'd gathered, and ate it whole, not a single thing he'd squandered. The fisher had a plan that he would not depart, to catch each fish individually by its own art. My father said to him, "Take a basket of this sort, to travel with the fish and keep them in a single retort." But the fisher stayed his course and said with a smile, "I must carry my catch altogether, mile by mile." My father then offered a net, for his catch to be strong, but the fisher would not take it. He said nothing was wrong. The fisher had a purpose that he would not alter. He collected his fish, each one unique and a falter. I sat and watched the fisher quite still, his eyes on the skies without a thrill. He asked me why I had no shoes. I asked him why he had no too. He said he had no need to wear. I thought it odd, I must be fair, but something told me he was wise, for shoes or not, he'd seen the skies. A hermit half mad, so they say, who runs with wild abandon each day. Though his feet are sore and his soles are bare, he does not wish for shoes to wear. He likes to feel the earth beneath, to feel each moment in life to breathe. Though it's hard and rough, it's something dear, for that is why he chooses to go without shoes here. Though the world may say I'm mad for caring more than I have had, I say it's truer madness still to collect more than we need to fill the void of life's emptiness, for in the end it's us who are possessed. Riddle me this of what I speak, a tale of a king and a fish so meek. The king with his wealth had no peace of mind. The fish without it could still be kind. The moral of this I'm sure you can see. It's not the things that you possess that set you free. A king who hoarded all he saw was master of the things he'd store. He gathered riches, yet his need increasingly he'd want for more. His every whim was met, though his kingdom sadly fell. The more he gained, the more he'd jealously hoard. His wife and son neglected, he'd pile up his wealth in a chamber sealed away by a key. A son so young and filled with glee found the key to set him free from the chamber of his dad. The door he opened, delighted and glad. The king ran to the treasure room with a fearful crash, but sadly his son lay beneath the gold in a deadly mash. He dug with might and main, but his efforts were in vain, for his only son was now lost, and his love too late he did gain. He had collected things of wealth, but the only thing that mattered was gone, and the king in grief and sorrow wept for what he had done. The king once had riches, a fortune to behold, but now he's grown wise and his treasures he sold. He gave away all that was his to the poor, and he set out alone to live without more. Was this mad fisher once a king? I found it hard to believe, but he said, "Lula, wisdom comes at a cost, and it's not easy to retrieve." He had a saying to share, "It's wisdom the owl does bring. The wings of knowledge only stretch at twilight's ring." Rain, rain came down today, a lesson to learn. That much I say, the time to change I can't deny, but only if I choose to try. Hope is seen in the darkest skies, a chance to change our destiny lies. A rumble of thunder, a sudden surprise, reminds me of hope and its sweet surprise. The fisher looked up at the sky with a smile. His wild eyes spoke wisdom, and I saw it too. He said, "Lula, seek the middle way between all and nothing, and you'll find it today. It's a secret place deep in your mind. where the genie you'll find if you search and you're kind. The greatest secret of all is that there's no big mystery. When you find the genie, you'll even know the gods' history. A madman spoke of a genie. It made no sense to me that there was a secret of no secret at all, but I listened to his call. He said he'd been told by a wizard in a dream to search for a genie, or so it did seem. Was it a dream or was it real? I can no longer tell. Are we all in a dream? Is a godly being real? I'm starting to feel confused beyond belief. I can only hope the genie is true, and the madman's words will ring true.